What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Hey, thank y'all for going live, getting on this live with me. We're about to get this thing going. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you're not on the live with us and you see it and watch it later on, just pay attention to it, share it out. If you don't live in District 1, we ask that you just send it to people that does live in District 1, and we'll get this thing going. So, how y'all doing? So today we're going to be joined by the Magistrate District 1 candidate, Tony Caudill. He's going to be running for the magistrate position, District 1. Voting's going to be May 19th. So Tony Caudill's my uncle. Y'all know that. And we're just going to talk to him, figure out who Tony is, what his visions are for District 1, why he chose to run for magistrate. And yep, we're going to get into this thing. So we're going to welcome to the stage Tony Caudill.
Yeah, right. Okay.
There you go. There you go. What's up? What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning. First off, appreciate you doing this. I kind of had a vision of going live, so I appreciate you being willing to jump on. And I know I'm your nephew, but I'm going to ask you some questions that, one myself, I don't know really what magistrates do. I don't know the answers. So I just thought it'd be a good time for me to learn. Plus, we'll put you out on Facebook and let the voters that's going to be in District 1 kind of get to know you. So we'll get this thing started. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what your roots are here in Lincoln County.
All right. Good morning, guys. I'm not really comfortable public speaking, so, I don't know. I've done it, a handful of times, 6, 7, 8. And I seem to get emotional when I talk about things. So I'm going to try not to do that today, but it probably won't go well. But anyway, we moved here somewhere around 77, 78. And, I've been in Kentucky ever since. When my parents first moved here, we lived down in McKinney. Then we moved up on top of the Gap. And when I married my wife, Donna, we moved to Hubble in 94, built a small home, and been here ever since.
All right. So you've been in Kentucky your whole life. Of course, I know a little bit about you. You're my uncle. So you got a slew of family here, 2 boys, got some grandbabies, and then you got all your family right here in Lincoln County. So except for Jacob and Tori. So we're just going to get this thing going. I got a little list of questions that I drew up I think would be important to people, important to me. So number 1, who is Tony Caudill outside of politics?
Who am I? Well, I'm a husband, father. See, it's already starting. Grandfather.
Yeah.
Veteran. Christian. I believe there's a God in heaven. I don't know. I've always tried to work hard. Always tried to do the right thing. But I'll be the first to admit I've not always done that, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to try to be perfect. One thing I think you will find out about me is if I am elected that, you may not like the answer, okay? But you can rest in knowing that I'm going to tell you the truth. All right. We may not agree on, whatever we're talking about. And I doubt, 2 people in this county does. One, because I've witnessed it. I've been going to the fiscal court meetings for about 9 months. Yeah. If you want to, say, get my feet wet. And there's been some passionate discussions about what's going on in the county. So, if I tell you I can't say that, that's the truth. If I tell you, it's not going to go this way or that way, that's the truth. So, that's what I've found to be after working 31 years at Donnelly. You know, I was a supervisor for about 7 years, and you know, I just thought telling the guys and girls the truth was the best option. You know, always, no matter what, good or bad, indifferent, whether you liked the answer, whether you wasn't going to like it. You know, so that's me in a nutshell.
Well, most people that have common sense and are just human, like, you know, your own mother, my grandma, Nanny. I've went to her for a lot of things in my whole entire life, because whether I liked it or I didn't, she'd tell you the truth.
Right.
So, you know, so I appreciate that, because it don't mean whatever she says, you know, it's most of the time it's either going to protect me, help me, whatever the case may be. So
Right.
I always seek the truth, no matter whether it hurts me or it don't. But so I like that. Okay, so what made you decide to run for the Magistrate District 1 spot?
Well, this is really what happened. My brother-in-law called me and asked me about this other person running in a different district. And, you know, so we talked about it, and that night I couldn't sleep. And I've never thought about running for a political office. Okay. But I don't know. I just up all night over it. And so I said, okay, let's see where this thing goes.
Okay. So
the next morning I woke up, you know, told my wife, hey, I think might run for Magistrate.
right.
So here we are, you know.
All right. So it started with a conversation, then you just got a burden to get in the public view and help the people of Lincoln County.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
True. Yeah.
All right.
And so you know, and I plan on, you know, I don't know. I don't want I don't want to Danville. I was in Danville the other day, and traffic was just horrendous. You know,
it's crazy.
I don't want a Somerset where we got a restaurant on every street corner and all in all the areas in between. You know, but I don't know. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do what's best. I think is best. I'm going to listen to the voters. You know, if there's a subject that comes up, and you know, I'm really going to. I believe the majority should win in a lot of things. Okay, now I'm not going to be okay with, you know, everything, but you know, if I get 100 calls and you know people are on this side of the fence versus 20 on this, you know, I'm going to take that into effect, and you know, it's going to be part of my decision. So
right. Okay, so I just got like 4 questions in this whole thing.
Okay.
We've done ask 3 of them. So the last question on the like the personal background, who's Tony? So what values was you raised with that still guide you today?
Do what's right.
Yeah. Even when nobody's looking.
Even when it's extremely hard, you got to do what's right. You know,
I tell my kids that all the time.
You know, that's just it. No matter what the cost, you got to do what's right.
All right. So these next questions is more like community-based goals, vision.
Okay.
So what do you think, or what do you believe, and you may not have an answer to this right now, but what do you think, or what do you believe the biggest issue facing District 1 is currently?
Well, currently a lot of what is the national issues, you know, the gas price, taxes, you know, data centers, you know, they've been big in the, you know, and I'm a realtor. Okay. So I've been showing property all over, you know, this area. And I was in Mercer County, I don't know, in the last few months, 10, 12 times. And you see signs, say no to data centers, say no to data centers, you know, and they've been on the national news. The the people around the area, a lot of them's not happy with what's going on. So I don't know. That may come to a head for Lincoln County.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been I've had about 5 people contact me, 5 or 6, 10, and just discuss things that are currently important to them. And I've asked questions, I've made phone calls, I've got them the answers that was given to me. And right now, that's about all I can do.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So
I mean, people just trying to. It takes a lot of money. And again, guys, listen to me, and I might take some flack from this, and that's okay. I'm in real estate. All right. I'm a real estate agent. But to me, the housing is just going. I don't see how a young couple can afford rent or can afford a home payment right now. I mean, it's just crazy to me. So, it's taking longer to find out homes that, the first time home buyers can afford. People that's paid for a home and now own it and sell it. They got money to purchase another home and maybe have a small house payment or no house payment. But the people just starting out right now, it's crazy to me. It really is. And I'm in the business. And something happened in 2020, 21, 22, and it just drove prices through the roof, and they haven't come down.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's going to hurt. That's hurting America.
Well, and I agree. And I don't know if there's any relief in sight on that, but man, I mean, then we're looking at high gases and taxes, and it's just crazy everywhere. So I'm gonna put this just for real quick. I'm gonna interject. So if you have a question while we're live, if you got a comment, you can post it. I can put it on the screen for everybody to see. So Audrey Gail Caudill Young, which that's your sister. It's my mama.
Right.
Thank you for your honest answer. So we always going with that. So some of it you done touched on, but that was my next question. What are you hearing from people that you talk to when you're outdoor knocking, talking about putting signs, meeting people? Are you hearing anything about anything at all?
As far as broad strike, they won't change.
Yeah. Across the board.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a handful of people that's contact me for, needs or concerns that are dear to them. But, broad stroke, they're tired of the political person.
Yep. All right. So we got, we're on question 7 of like 15. So we got hammer here.
All right.
No, I'm just joking. We take a long time we need. What can be done to help the younger generation stay in Lincoln County? We see that in real estate a lot.
Yeah.
So what's your opinion on that?
Jobs, good paying jobs.
For sure.
If you work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, that's 2,080 hours a year. So if you multiply $20 an hour, you get a little over $40,000 if my math is right. And honestly, a person cannot purchase a home making $40,000 a year.
I agree.
So, the prices of homes need to come down. It's not the interest rate. I paid 8% when I built this home. Interest rates now are creeping up some. Now they're 6.25 or something like that. But to me, it's not the interest rate. It's the price of buying a home.
Yeah. All right. So I put the Q&A above your head in case anybody wants to ask a question. So last question in this kind of community vision spot. What areas of District 1 or more even Lincoln County, and I know you're only over District 1. So what areas of the county are you hearing would need improvement or attention right out of the rip?
Well, again, I'm not hearing that much, but I'm sure, again, just like, the roads are number one.
Yeah.
Everybody has something personal, but to me, everybody's concerned about the shape of the roads. We went to Tennessee a couple years ago, and around Rocky Top, there's cars sitting on the side of the road because the potholes are so big. And I'm not dogging Tennessee. I live on Highway 590, 4 miles out. And, I told someone the other day, we probably have 50 potholes,
Right.
So after, like in the winter, when they scrape the road and, it pulls it up, or after rain, it washes out, sometimes I call and ask them to come out and fill it.
Right.
Because
co-pack or something.
Yeah, because I've owned a mowing business for a few years. I'm not currently doing that, but and pulling the trailer, 590 is not super wide when you pass another trailer. Okay.
Yep.
And you cannot dodge potholes when you're pulling the trailer.
Well, I would appreciate smooth roads, because every time I drive my wife's car, if we hit a pothole, I get yelled at. So, because she thinks I could somehow magically dodge them. All right. So in this next category, I didn't really know what to ask. I just know what I see on normal elections. So I just got 2 questions in this. It's like leadership area. I don't really know what this answer is other than roads.
Yeah.
So here we go. What does a good magistrate actually do for the people?
Well, without being a magistrate, without having, that experience, I would say, listen, you are going to be able to approach me at Walmart, Arby's, wherever you may see me at. You can come up and say, hey, Tony, I got something I need to talk about. And I'm going to listen. Okay.
Sure.
Then, if it is something that is coming up to the fiscal court, then, I will take that into account. Again, we may not see eye to eye, but you'll be able to trust that I'm telling you the truth. Yeah, and if I vote yes or no, I'll tell you why I'm voting yes or no.
Okay. Well, I've always heard my whole life, that's why the Lord give us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right.
That's two to listen with and only 1 to speak out of. So
right.
I love that, because most people, especially me as a taxpayer and as a guy of the public, like I'm battling this thing right now with Highland Elementary School. That's its own thing, but I'm quick to listen. And I learned a lot the other day at that meeting. And then whenever I had something to say, the board members listened. And it just made each other feel good, because we was hearing each other's sides first before we did anything else. So I appreciate that so much. Really.
And really, you got to listen. I mean, like I said, I've been going to the fiscal court meetings for about 9 months. And, there's been some spirited conversations or debate, about certain things. Yeah. And, it's went, for the most part, it's went really well. A couple of times there's name callings and things like that, but 90 to 95% people was respectful and at least listened before they got up and told their side of the fence.
Yep. So last question in this leadership area, if elected, it's whatever, it's what all politicians say. That's why I put it on here. If elected, what would your top priorities be in your first year?
To me, you have to be a good steward of people's money.
Amen. I agree.
Right now, they say that close to $1 trillion is wasted in Washington. Okay. The United States of America is in debt, $39 trillion.
Yeah.
So if we just if Washington can just fix the abuse, America could be out of debt in 39 years. And that's not very long compared to $39 trillion in debt, and we're giving money away like we have it.
Yeah. All right. So this is kind of my last segment of questions. I'm trying to keep it short. I didn't know what to ask. So personal fun questions. Here we go.
Okay.
What's something that people in Lincoln County and even more so District 1, I guess, but even Lincoln County as a whole, what's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Well, let's start with the military. You know, I spent 4 years in the Air Force, and I got to do some things that, you know, other people didn't get to do. I went to Clark Air Base in the Philippines. I got to ride a bike. You know, I started out as a gate guard, you know, just as a basic airman. And I wrote a lot of citations, and I got a lot of DUIs. So they asked me to be on the bike. And, you know, that was our main get up besides accident investigations. And you know, escorts. We did escorts for the money and for dignitaries, things like that. But, you know, that I was proud of that, you know.
So military police in the Philippines?
Yeah, law enforcement.
Okay.
I was in law enforcement. That's my job.
I got you. Okay.
So, you know, Chips, the movie Chips, if anybody remembers that
Yeah.
was me for about a year and a little over a year and a half, something like that.
All right.
Late in 87, the assassinations happened. We lost a co-worker.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you, he died that day. Because he was an American. So
yeah.
I'm fixing to say something that might not be popular. In America, you have the right to burn that flag. But when you see it draped over a casket, you know, there's plenty of men and women out there standing up for that flag, standing up for your right to burn that flag. And I just got to say, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Not one bit. I've had cancer twice. You know, and if you ask me, I was so stressed out at work that my body couldn't fight it no more. So there's a lesson. There's a lesson in that for me. But them two things, you know, I'm an American to my core.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day. So, all right, next question. I'm sorry.
All good. Well, so listen, if anybody wants to know if this is authentic, they just got their answer. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, I love you, Death, and thank you for your service to our country. All right.
Yeah, and let me say this real quick. I didn't know this was going down today to yesterday. So
He did not. He did not. I called him and I said, "Hey, I got an idea. You available tomorrow morning?" So, all right, here we go. What's your favorite thing about small town life? Because you know, you got clients, I got real estate clients. I tell everybody, Stanford's like Mayberry. You know, so
it is.
so what's your favorite thing about it?
And some things it is, you know. I don't know. I don't want to, you know, going back to young people. Okay, if they want to stay here in Lincoln County, we got to find some kind of work. Factory work ain't for everybody. I did it for 31 years. Okay. But you know, we got to find them work if they want to stay in the county. Okay. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But for the young people that want to see the world, another short story. When I was supervisor at Donnelly, this guy, you know, he talked to several people and told people that he was going to give his 2 weeks notice and he didn't want to come in the office and, you know, according to him, you know, let me down. And I told him, I said, dude, you got one life. He was going to be an electrician for Tartar Gate. And I told him, I said, it's a great big world. You know, if you want to be an electrician, you go be an electrician. It's your life. You got to live it. Just be smart about it and have a plan. I said, but don't stop in Casey County. Don't stop in Kentucky. Don't stop in the United States. If you want to be an electrician, and I used China then, but I'll use Australia. If you're young 20s, early 30s, and you want to be an electrician in Australia, do it. Do it. You know, chase that dream. You got, you know, just have a plan about it. You know, you can't move to Australia without money, without going through, you know, and I don't want to see people struggle. So don't move to Australia without money and without a job. At least try to have a job and a little money when you go that way. But, you know, you get one shot. So do what you want to in this life. As long as it's legal. I gotta say that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So we got basically three more questions, and this is over. So thank everybody for tuning in. We've had up to 20-something people on here. So I really appreciate y'all giving us a little bit of time, and I'll do my best to keep it quick. Who has influenced you the most in life?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if you want to say your nephew Curtis, I'll take that. Go ahead.
Well, first it'd have to be my mother. You know, second would be not second, but you know, humanly, my mother, second God, and third, I'd say the military. I really learned a lot in the military. So quick answer.
Yeah, that's good. Well, there ain't no better people to learn from than the Lord, military, and your mama.
Yeah.
All right. So last question, and then we're about to wrap this thing up. What keeps you motivated?
My family, providing for my family.
Yeah.
You know, years ago, I was going to quit. I was going to quit Donnelly. You know, I went in there and give my manager a 30-day notice. I said, I'm done. I can't do it no more. There's got to be something more to life than this.
Yeah.
And, you know, so the day before I was going to quit, I heard someone, you know, I walked in the conversation about this and it just scared me to death. I don't want to get into it too much, but anyway, I didn't end up quitting. I stayed there, and you know, for the next 3 or 4 years, that job was just pure chaos for me. And you know, so I got scared about providing for my family, and I should have. You know, they say if you had to do anything, I would have went back and I took that step. And you know, wherever I landed, I just land. But you know, that's it.
All right.
My family. Everything is my family.
So your motivation is your family.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think anybody can be mad about that. So here we go. Last question, and this is the closing. So I'll go ahead and give a shout out to everybody watching. If you're not watching us live and you watch it later on in the comments, put on their replay. If you got questions, put them in the comments. Tony Caudill's on Facebook. Send him a message, hit him with a text, whatever the case may be. All right. So if someone is listening right now in District 1 and they're undecided on who they should vote for, why should they vote Tony Caudill?
I don't know. You've heard the answers. You've heard the questions. You know, like I say, I'm going to work hard. Everybody says that. But, you know, I plan on being active. You know, it's not going to be just when people call me. You know, I got a Facebook post out there with a hat that says Lincoln County Magistrate. If I'm elected, I plan on getting one of them hats. I'm going to wear it. So people will know that, hey, if you're in Lincoln County and you see me wherever you see me, coming out of Durham's or, you know, wherever it may be, you can stop and approach me. I'm not going to shy away from questions. You know, I just ask that you do it respectfully, you know, because we're in public. Now, you know, I always had when I was supervisor Donnelly, I had a rule, you know, with the operators. Had a meeting with him. I said, look, you know, you guys know me. I've been here a long time. You know, don't undress me in public or in front of your crew, and I won't undress you. So if you need to talk about something, come to my office where we can discuss it, you know, privately. And, you know, I won't take your position away from you in front of your crew.
Right.
So, you know,
Right.
them are the people that ran the crew. Them are the people that made Donnelly money. Okay. I mean, yeah, we had everybody else, you know, CSRs, and it takes everybody. But as far as getting the signatures to the binder and all that, them were the guys and girls making the decisions. So, you know, I just ask for the best, and you know, you can expect the best, my best every day, you know, and I tried to take that into account if someone had something going on at home. So, you know, but no, all I can say is I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna give you my best, you know, and
Okay.
if it's not good enough in 4 years, let that be shown. And I'll be okay with that.
You're going to do your best. You're going to give honest answers every time you ask, and you're going to be a good steward of our money.
Yes, I'm telling you. I mean, and something that come out in the last fiscal court, if I'm not mistaken, the state is giving Lincoln County $2.5 million less. Now, to me, that's a boatload of money.
Right.
So that tells me that decisions will have to be made. And
Yep.
I'm okay with making decisions.
Okay.
You know, you may not agree with them, but I'm okay with it.
So if somebody in District 1 is wanting to meet with you before the 19th, because
Yes.
election's the 19th, right?
Yep.
What's the best way? What's all the ways that they can get a hold of you? And then
Well, the easiest way is just call me 606-375-0001. And Kurt, you might be able to put that up there somewhere. I don't know. But you know, I'm knocking doors, I'm handing out cards, and on the back of the cards, I try to tell everybody my number's on the back. You know, if you got something you want me to check into, or, you know, find you an answer, call me.
Tony Caudill cell phone 606-375-0001.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm sorry, guys. This wasn't supposed to take this long, but I don't know. When I get talking about things that are that mean a lot to me, I get passionate. So I'm passionate about the work I do. And, you know, Kurt can tell you, when I first got back into real estate in 23, I didn't do anything for, you know, 5-6 months. because it'd been a while since I've been in real estate. I put my license in escrow in 2010, 2011, something like that. So it'd been a good while since I'd seen any contracts. So I was sitting at home reading contracts, making sure I understood what the contract said in case clients ask. And since then, they change them about once a year. But, hey, that's business. So
yes,
let's get on with it and see where this thing goes. And I appreciate, let me say this, I appreciate everybody's attention. And if I can get your support, I will be appreciative.
There you go. There you go.
And if I can't, I understand, because that's the way it works. That's the process.
So you got your cell phone number. They can reach out to you on Facebook. If they're a young person, you're probably gonna get a text or a DM.
Right.
But you'll respond to all of that. So, all right, we're gonna sign off. Well, Uncle Tony Caudill, candidate for Magistrate District 1, Stanford. I appreciate you, man. I know I threw it. I knew I threw it on you. I knew.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's crazy.
But listen, I like authentic, and I like being candid. So, and if that's what people connect with, they know you're a real human being, and you ain't heartless. So, I appreciate all that. But
next Tuesday, everybody vote.
Next Tuesday,
one way or another. I don't care which way you vote. Vote.
Just get out and vote.
Yep. Vote. Yep. It's I got friends, I got family that I'm a registered Republican. I got friends and family who's registered Democrats. Okay, I'm okay with it. So be a part of the process.
Yeah,
that's your right, and to some point your obligation as an American. You have a chance to voice your concern, and I just say take that opportunity to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I got to work in real estate. I got to do some real estate. So appreciate everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Share this with people that live in District 1. If you live in District 1, you need to reach out and ask Tony some questions that's important to you. You got his phone number. You can hit him up on Facebook. Tony, I'm going to get you out of the studio. And so there you go. That was a quick Q&A. We was live for about 30 minutes there. But if you got anything, if you got any questions for him, hit him up. You send him a text, message him on Facebook Messenger. And hopefully the questions was good and his answers was good. There you go. But that's the truth of it. Thank y'all. See ya.